Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Galactic challenge video. First of all, thank you again so much for all the support I've been receiving for the past week or so. It definitely helped me put back in the right place mentally so I can just, keep going as I have until now, producing the content for you for this Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, our favorite game, I guess. Again, just, highlighting how our community is absolutely the best. Now with all the, content and everything, talking about content creation, things like that, I've actually been thinking over the past few days, like how I could increase the reach of my content, like how could I widen the audience, tap, into the parts of the community that maybe are not yet following my channel, I guess. And I was thinking, well, what if I could speak different languages, right? Because all of my content is in English and majority of my audience, at least looking from analytics point of view, is English speaking. However, I did notice a trend lately in my comments. I've been often receiving comments in different languages like Spanish, French, German, Russian, I think Korean as well. So it looks like there is a portion of my audience that it's not English speaking, but it still do watch my videos. I guess making use of, auto-generated subtitles from YouTube, which is fine. But, I was doing a bit of research and everything. And obviously with the increase of AI being present in the technology world, becoming better and everything, I came across a service that can actually translate the audio and as well generate audio that kind of sounds similar like your own voice, but in a different language. So what I want to do now in this video, just before we go into the challenge, just give you like a short 1-minute clip of one of my videos, the endurance versus executrix counter. Just like a 1-minute clip. I'll show you different languages, just like maybe 10 seconds of each language, just so that you get a flavor how Bit Dynasty could sound like in your own language. So obviously with that, I also want to then a little bit get some feedback from you guys, obviously from non-English speaking community. Is that something you would be interested in? That I would go back and redo some of my popular video guides that are still, being useful these days, convert them into different language, so then you can then share it with your own non-English speaking community. I don't know, I think it's a good idea, but again, we would first want to see is they're interested in that, and then obviously I can do a little bit more research into it, maybe do a whole video just instead of a clip. And then again, I would need some feedback, from those language speaking communities. Is the AI actually doing a good job enough of translation that the video makes sense? Because one thing is translating language, but when it comes to Star Wars, we have very specific terminology in terms of certain things, so I'm not sure how AI would translate that. But anyway, that's I guess step 2. Step 1 is just finding out, is there actually an interest in this, just to spread my content into the parts of our community that maybe is not following my channel yet because obviously of the language barrier. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let me now show you the clip that AI generated, and I'll be back right after that.
Te mostraré 3 batallas con diferentes enfoques. Veamos qué pasa en la primera batalla. La alineación inicial será de clones, así todos obtenemos valor al inicio. Siempre van por el hacha, parece ser la más débil, apparemment, car c'est la plus faible. Ensuite, on va soigner avec la capacité de Rex et donner l'immunité aux dégâts critiques. Ça lui permettra d'encaisser quelques coups de plus. D'accord, c'est parti. Rex tient bon. Для начала я просто сделаю АОЕ, чтобы нанести урон карающему и усилить крит. Просто базовая атака и первое подкрепление костяной ястреб. チャフを付与して地のターゲットロックをたずぎます。契約を遅らせ、ハウンドトースに基本攻撃をします。テストでは最初の増減は常にSlave 1でした。Acho que sempre trazem o Slave 1 como primeiro reforço. É chato, pois temos que lidar com contra-ataques. Ainda temos chefe agora. Usamos este especial para reaplicar valor nos nossos. Wir nutzen dieses Special, unseren Jungs Tapferkeit zu geben. Dann gehen sie gern auf einen Knochenfalken los. Schauen wir, ob wir Buff-Immunität auf Fives und Spreu auf unsere Jungs legen können. Perfekt. Sie machen AOE, buffen, clonen, Verbündete, kriegen Tapferkeit. Accidenti, mi stavo facendo prendere la mano. Dovevo usare l'attacco base su Houndstooth, fa più danni, della UE. Speravo in un colpo critico per eliminare Houndstooth. La prossima volta, per sicurezza.
And there you go. That's how Bit Dynasty could sound like in your own language. Again, it was just a flavor. I just kind of chose the top languages in terms of my current viewers already. But again, you know, maybe the viewership from some other countries would go up if I would have different languages. Anyway, hope you found it fun. For me, it was so funny hearing myself speaking another language. It's yeah, anyway. Now let's head into today's challenge. It's an interesting one, I guess. But anyway, we'll get into the feats and everything as always. There'll be YouTube chapters below if you want to skip through, but there's just one battle today, really. So, you know, not a whole lot of chapters. But anyways, so we have to take down squad of Nightsisters with the latest 2 Night Trooper as well as Death Trooper Peridia. Oh man, luckily it's not Great Mothers and Morgan, right? Or maybe that could be better because then they wouldn't be able to revive. But anyways, in terms of feats, well, there's a lot of feats, but there really is only one feat. You have to complete the battle with a full team of Phoenix units. Like the critical damage feat, like it just happens no matter what you do, right? And yeah, most of us are free to play, so we can't do 7-star Omega, and we also don't have active episode pass. So I'll just focus today, one battle only, and you know, depending I guess on how good your Phoenix is, what's the highest tier that you can complete. And now in terms of the modifiers, actually, unlike last challenge, this one actually it does help us a lot because number one, because of Takodana, we got the whole death mark mechanic. So whoever deals damage first in the battle gets death mark applied on them, and obviously death mark prevent revives. So if you got low gear Phoenix, as I'll show in this battle, you will definitely want enemy to go first. Talzin, she will go first, put death mark on herself. You can quickly take her down, so there's no plague spreading and everything, and as well she won't be able to be revived because of death mark. But then of course one of your guys will most likely deal damage next, and you know, then you'll have to manage it a little bit. There is a way to deal with death mark, which I'll talk about later. So we'll be utilizing the whole death mark to get rid of their Talzin straight away. And then in terms of play modifier, does a lot of things, but most importantly, once we do get 100 stacks of plate by ear, then we get improvised plan. And amongst other things, what improvised plan will allow us is to ignore taunts. So then we'll just be able to ignore zombie, and we'll be doing, you know, going after other guys. So it's very important. Now, how do we gain plate by ear? By attacking out of turn. So for this one, you will definitely want to have Captain Rex, because then you get lots of attacks out of turn whenever you use a special ability. Without Captain Rex, I don't see how this could work, to be honest. But even in this account, I had a Gear 11 Captain Rex with Zeta on his unique, and it was enough to get it to work. And in terms of the animal modifier, it's a little bit annoying because whenever an ally is revived, all other Nightsisters gain stack of Ichor, which amongst other things gives them stacking speed. So if you just keep taking out zombie over and over again, that won't work, because then the remaining Nightsisters that are alive will basically gain so much stacks of Ichor that they'll just be running circles around you. So you definitely will want to avoid taking out zombie as much as you can, and that's why the, you know, improvised plan buff from our modifier for Phoenix will help us to ignore zombie. So that's what we'll be looking after. Again, if you have lower gear Phoenix, it's a little bit trickier. I was able to get it to work with roughly gear 12 Phoenix. In my other account, where I do have relic top ones, you know, it was pretty much an autoplay battle, more or less. So this is what I'll be dealing with here. Now going obviously with Hera lead, you know, she's the Phoenix leader, I guess. Now what I did was I modded everybody for health, just hopefully they can survive long enough. Especially for my Captain Rex here is gear 11, but I do have Zeta on his unique, so you know, I think that one probably will be required to have, I don't know. Then I do have Zeb in here, and I have him modded for potency, because on his basic, whenever enemies are dazed, he can stun them. And obviously we got Captain Rex doing AoE daze, and then you can just kind of keep enemies stun locked for the most part, but they were still resisting even though I have potency over my Zeb. In my main account, I don't have Zeb relic tapped, I use Sabine, and I think maybe Sabine could be better because, you know, her constant AoEs, applying stagger on the enemies, you keep pushing back their meter. I think that potentially could be better than stuns on basic from Zeb, but this is what I had in this account to deal with. And you know, unfortunately Sabine wasn't really in a usable state. Chopper as well, another key piece, again modded for health, because on his basic he has what 60% chance to reduce allies cooldown. So whenever you have an ability that calls somebody to assist, I always target a Chopper. Just hopefully, you know, he can keep reducing cooldowns on your guys, so you can keep spamming those specials and getting assists from Captain Rex is unique. And finally, Kanan also modded for health. And why I modded for health on everybody? Because with Kanan, we recover 25% health whenever we suffer a debuff. So that's why I was focused on health. So hopefully you can survive the AoE from Talzin. In terms of Zetas, I also think this Zeta is useful to have if you have lower gear Phoenix, because it dispels or debuffs, but also importantly it gives you Foresight, and then whenever Foresight expires, you know, or you evade, whatever, it is the same thing, you will be gaining a bunch of bonus turn meter. So it will kind of allow you, when things, you know, go sideways a little bit at some point, to quickly get on top of the enemies by gaining bonus turn meters. I think this Zeta with lower gear Phoenix is gonna be useful. Well, the more Zetas you have, I guess the easier it will be. If you have them all relicked up, I don't think, you know, Zetas played that big role. Now, even though I had my guys stacked with health at gear 12 for the most part, Talzin AoE just wiped everybody out. So I just had to restart like 3 or 4 times until Talzin started off with her basic. So that's the run that I'm showing you now that was successful. So we got death mark on Talzin, she took first turn, deal damage, she's not coming back. And now we're gonna be stuck a little bit hid behind zombie until we get a dispel in there. I guess if you have I think Zeta on Zeb special, he's got a dispel on that, so that could be useful. Otherwise Chopper's got a dispel as well on one of his special abilities. But for the most part, we're just kind of now waiting, you know, to get 100 stacks of played by ear, and then we'll be able to ignore the taunts. As you can see, I do have death mark on Captain Rex, and I think that's the best case scenario, just because obviously whenever he goes below 50% health, he recovers health. So he's kind of constantly offsetting the damage he's receiving from death mark, and even at gear 11, as you can see, he's standing strong. So there we go, we did get a dispel on zombie, so now what I'm doing is just going around and targeting whoever is not stunned yet. So the Zeb is coming in, hopefully landing some stuns. But as you will see, even with tenacity down, nearly 100% potency on my Zeb, these guys still resist quite often, especially they're both troopers. It looks like their tenacity is quite high. There we go, we got improvised plan now finally, so we can just now ignore zombie. For the most part, she's still annoying with constant healing and everything for the team. But anyway, for the most part, she's non-factor in the beginning, at least now. There we go, we got a stun on Night Trooper. Let's see if we can get a stun on zombie. Come on, get me a stun on her. Where are my stuns, man? Tenacity down. There we go, finally got a stun on her. Let's go ahead and now stun the Death Trooper as well. I said stun Death Trooper. Thank you. Now we can go ahead and stun Asajj as well. So you get the idea. You're just kind of going around, trying to keeping them stun locked, and you know, eventually you will take somebody down. And obviously they do get 2 revives from zombie, because now that we are death mark, not them, we have no ways of preventing revives. So I'm just, you know, spread the damage a little bit, start working them down. There you go, we defeated Night Trooper. Now they gained a stack of Ichor. So it means they will be faster now, so just something to bear in mind. So now I'm just trying to line up the second hit, but as you can see, zombie, she's very quick now. She's got 2 of those her plus 50 speed buffs, and it's getting a little bit annoying. She's taking a lot of turns, but anyway, we'll just keep going, see if we can get another kill. Oh, come on, let's go. Ooh, stun. There we go. You can see at some point you kind of run out of steam a little bit, but eventually I did regain control. There we go, we got a stun. Get a stun over there as well. Rex got a stun on his special middle ability also. Kill number 2. So zombies' revives have been exhausted, but because of every time you kill somebody, they lose the debuff, so they're no longer dazed, no longer have tenacity down, they recover health. The other remaining alive allies, they do gain stack of Ichor, which means more speed for them. Asajj that unfortunately got a turn in there with buff dispel, so lost all my buffs, lost bunch of bonus turn meter. So it took a while that I regained control in this battle, as you will see, but I was able to hang in there. You know, AI is not very clever, like between 2 taunts and death mark on Captain Rex. You know, even though Gear 11 Captain Rex, you know, he was just nowhere near in danger of dying. But as you can see, we got now reapplied daze on everybody, reapplied tenacity down, so we started regaining the control on the battle against zombies. You can see a little bit annoying with her healing. There we go, got stun on Asajj. Let's see if we can get a stun on Death Trooper before he takes a turn. But again, they lost the daze already. As you can see, both their Asajj and Night Trooper, they got 3 and 4 stacks of E-Core, so a bit of extra speed allows them to, you know, get a few quick turns. There we go, Death Trooper is down, but because of obviously Talzin's lead, whenever they use a basic ability, he'll be called for assist. So you still want to keep an eye on these guys, even zombie, just try to constantly keep everybody stun locked so they don't get their Death Trooper for the assist. Because every time Death Trooper is revived, he assists, dies off, right? And every revive they gain a stack of E-Core. So as you can see now, Asajj and Night Trooper have a 4 and 5 stacks of E-Core. But by keeping them stun locked, they can't use their basic, nobody's called for assist, and they don't gain more stacks of E-Core, which, you know, allows them to potentially start running circles around you. And there you go, that's how I completed with gear-ish 12 Phoenix. Again, I needed 3 or 4 attempts for Talzin to start off with her basic, not her AoE, and then I was able to get rolling. And I always forget to show you this tier 2, and everybody's like, oh, you can also do tier 2 with you know, 3-star marquee units. So there we go, that's what I've been doing, conquest style dash, pew, wipe everybody out. And this now knocked out as well on tier 2 the Omega Fugitive feat quite easily. And there you go, guys, that's all for today's video. Hopefully it was useful and helpful, just showing you that, you know, with a gear 12-ish Phoenix, you know, if you put the work in, put some good mods on them, that, you know, they can get the job done by utilizing, you know, the death mark mechanics, as well as improvised plan ability to ignore taunt. And again, let me know about, you know, that test that I showed you in the beginning with how my videos would sound like and look like, obviously by using AI audio translation tool. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.